And Asia market traded mostly higher today following a turbulent morning session. Greater China markets recovered with Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index gaining 0.86%. The Shanghai Composite advanced by 1.53%, while the Shenzhen Composite saw gains of 0.80%. Japan's Nikkei 225 recovered from earlier losses to see gains of 0.51%. The Topix was up by 0.26% after previously touching lows not seen since September 2017. The ASX 200 struggled for gains, trading down 0.27% as the heavily weighted financial sector rose 0.15%. And in the U.S., index futures pointed to a weaker open today. S&P 500 futures were down 0.42%, while futures for the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.5%. Those for the Nasdaq 100 dropped 0.65%. And away from the markets, the new leadership of the West African Monetary Institute says it's on a mission to advance African payment system and other related initiatives to facilitate financial inclusion within the region. The Director General, Dr. Ngozi Emuna, in an interview with Channels Television correspondent on the sideline of the just concluded IMF World Bank annual meetings in Indonesia, explains some of the implementation strategies.
I was appointed last year, August, and since then, I have a 2-year tenure, and since then we've been working on integration, economic and financial integration of the 6 countries of the West African Monetary Zone, namely the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. Basically, we are also joining the ECOWAS Commission to work on the 2020 agenda for the monetary union. But beyond that, we are very excited about the payment system platform that Afrexim Bank is introducing to us. It's a platform for settlement, payment and settlement of goods and services in our local currencies, and they are using the WAMSI as a pilot regional block, so that if it works out very well, then they will transmit it to the whole of Africa. Because you know, Afrexim Bank is the African Export-Import Bank. Yeah, and they've been charged with the responsibility of making sure that the payment platforms in the whole of Africa is connected by the AU. So they are using us as a pilot program. Yeah, but beyond that is the fact that we are also working towards getting a unique identifier for our countries, because we now acknowledge the fact that it has implications for the corresponding banking relations that we've had. It has implications for AMLT issues, that's anti-money laundering issues. It has implications for financial inclusion, especially women. And then inclusive growth is also engendered by at least knowing your customer and knowing who you're dealing with. So in that way, we are looking at financial sector integration, both the banking system, capital markets, and the insurance, so that if you have a unique identifier in Nigeria, you can go all the way to Gambia, and then you'll be identified as Mrs. Emuna wherever you go to. So that's what we are looking for funding for, basically. But the PAPS, that's the platform that is being branded by the African Export-Import Bank, is going to be a game changer, because it's going to make sure that we trade and quote and trade in our local currency. So if you want to buy something from the Gambia, you don't need to have Dalasi to be able to buy. You can buy from your desk in Nigeria, and then it's settled. So a lot of progress has been made with setting up, the work plan. The last time, sometime in February this year, ECOWAS adopted the 39 steps towards that, and one of the steps is financial integration, financial sector integration, and that one was squarely put on the shoulder of WAMI. to see that the financial sector is well integrated. And we're working towards that.
And the African Development Bank and African Trade Insurance Agency have launched a $500 million credit insurance deal expected to cover a portion of the bank's portfolio in non-sovereign operations on the continent. The deal, which follows the successful signing of the synthetic securitization transaction in September, would enable many insurance companies operating outside Africa to participate in the financing of development in Africa for the first time. The president of the African Development Bank, Mr. Akinwumi Adesina, says the transaction would protect it against the non-payment of loans made to approximately 30 African financial institutions. And Airtel Africa, a subsidiary of India's Bharti Airtel, has raised $1.25 billion from 6 global investors, including SoftBank Group Corporation, Warburg Pincus, and Temasek Holdings. The company is also looking to go public on an international stock exchange. The fundraising through a primary equity issuance now values Airtel Africa at $4.4 billion and will be used to reduce existing debt of about $5 billion and grow its Africa operations. And after the break, we cross over to the Nigerian Stock Exchange for update on today's trading activities. To stay with us.